What are the Cavs going to do as the NBA trade deadline approaches? Luka Doncic has stolen the headlines. Of course, that's been the spiciest trade. Uh, don't know where Jimmy Butler is going to go yet. Cavs, will they make a move here as we try and strengthen the team for a long playoff run? Eric, what do the Cavs do with this NBA trade deadline?
I could see two options. One being Cam Johnson. I've seen some of these rumors where you throw in a Max Strus, a George Niang, and a future first round pick for Johnson and a throw in player. Johnson's a 6'8" wing, which has been the Cavs' weak link since number 23 left for the second time. He averages 19.4 points per game and three pointers per game, something the Cavs could use tonight in the game against Boston. He gives that much needed height in the backcourt, especially when Garland and Mitchell are not on the floor together. One of the shorter backcourts. The Cavs have a 10-man rotation already and have even gone to 11 mans when playing some of the softer teams. So, taking out a Strus or a Niang or both is not going to drastically hurt their roster, provided Okoro and Wade get back healthy. So I think, provided he plays good enough defense, that's a worthwhile trade in my opinion. I mean, Niang's a good basketball player, fights hard, and Strus is, he's touch and go with his 3-pointers, but I'm gladly trade them for Cam Johnson. The other option would be just to stay status quo. Again, with Okoro and Wade coming back, the team's still kind of working on their roster, their lineups, who to play, how often to play them. And I expect Kenny Atkinson to figure out the best rotation in the playoffs. I'm hoping that they're going to get that one seed locked up. They're going to get time to gel together. And, once they place the Celtics or the Bucks or some of those top tier teams, in the playoffs, they should have their lineup set and know how to attack those other teams. Um, so, Karis LeVert does have expiring contract, so that would be a player to move. But, I would rather keep him on this roster as a good change of pace guy off the bench that could really help the team in the playoffs. So I would either say Cam Johnson or stay as we are.
Man, we've grown to love this team. Even Strus and Niang. It's hard to think of players that we would give up just to get a little bit better. Drew, what are you thinking about trades?
Yeah, it's I was just gonna say it's no fun to think about losing any of the players on this team, and that just goes to show you how likable that this Cavs team is. When we talked about doing the NBA trade deadline sort of podcast, the first guy I wanted to talk about was Dorian Finney-Smith for the Lakers, and then the Lakers go and trade for Luka, and those two are like best friends. Like they're definitely not trading him now. So the other guy that I'll bring up, and I think is probably high on the Cavs list, is Hawks forward DeAndre Hunter. Um, he's 6'8". He would play that wing defender 3-and-D sort of type. He shoots 39% from three. He's averaging 19 points a game. He is not the world's greatest defender, but he's probably on par with what Karras gives you from the defensive end, and he's got a little bit more length. Being 6'8". So, I think that would be a slight upgrade there. The Hawks are looking to totally just rebuild, so you would definitely have to include LeVert's $16.6 million expiring contract in this trade. That would be for sure one of them. You'd have to give up an unprotected first round pick 6 years from now, which, you let the cards fall where they may at that point. And then to make the salaries match, you probably have to include like a George Niang type that gets those salaries within about 10% of each other. So that's probably the trade. LeVert, Niang, and an unprotected first for DeAndre Hunter. And I think that is a fairly significant upgrade. I think he would be the starting small forward in that case, with Okoro coming off the bench who could play, any of those as, defensive, shutdown sort of helper type. So that's the route I would like to go. Mike Scotto of Hoops Hype, has something out there about this. Evidently the Cavs were interested in him last year, and the Hawks elected to sort of stand pat, or at least not to give him up. But I think he's more gettable this year. And that would be the trade that I would look to make. I think that does improve the roster. I think that does, it targets some of the big weaknesses that they have. You look at the guys they have try to guard Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and they're just undersized. They have a really hard time matching up with the Celtics in that regard, and that's the team you're going to have to beat, right? So I think you make this move. And it does improve your chances at beating that team specifically, which is ultimately the goal. You have to go through them to get to where you want to go. So that's the trade I would make. Let's go get DeAndre Hunter.
So it's not possible that LeBron is so ticked off at the Luka trade that he's going to request.
I don't think the Lakers are going to be trading LeBron or Luka or Dorian Finney-Smith. I think those are three dudes they're probably going to go ahead and roll with for the rest of the year.
Underrated destination, trading LeBron to Cleveland. I haven't heard too much of that.
Everyone would love it.
Yes.
Every single person, including LeBron, would love it. It would be a great story, but I don't think the Lakers are going to go for that.
We'll see what the Cavs end up doing. Yeah, and it's going to be tough if we lose any of the players on this team. This is a great team, and hopefully, coaching staff preparation. There's something that can be done to crack the Celtics, if that's defensive. But I love the idea of DeAndre Hunter, given a little bit more length. You got to have something against Tatum and Brown. It's just an incredible duo for the Celtics. So. We'll see what the Cavs do here, and we'll certainly might be comfortable with no action at all.
Go Cavs.